Yo, 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 yo. What's poppin', everybody? What's good? How's it going? How's it shaking? All of that good shit, man. It's been a while since I've been on here, man, but I definitely want to make sure we get the conversation started here. Un momento, por favor. Let me get this set up here for us. Just gonna wait for some people to come in. What's poppin'? What's good? What's good? I see you, all of that good stuff. Let me pin that. I appreciate you guys being patient while I get myself together. I ain't did this shit in a grip and a half, boy. Let me see. Pin that. Bet. I think we are all set. What's good with y'all, man? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? Hey, what's up, Vex? What's poppin'? What's good, Vex? Oh, man, yeah, we got some people coming through, man. Just wanted to say what's up, pop in, dip my head in, let y'all know what's going on with me. And also see how y'all doing, man. What's good with y'all, man? Before I even get too deep into me, man, it's all people always jump in here and they get to talking about themselves and all of that good shit, which it's their platform. They can do that, but no one ever really asks you how you doing. How are you doing today? How are you feeling, huh? It's Friday. Are you enjoying your Friday? Did you get paid this Friday or is it next Friday? I don't know. Got any plans for the night? What is y'all doing? I'm assuming everything is copacetic. I'm assuming everything is good. I'm assuming you're Gucci down to the socks. Because you deserve to be. The best things in life deserve to happen to you. But yeah. So, what's been up with me? What's been popping? Vex said, yo, my bro, got me on that Fire Force. Have I watched Fire Force? That's the first question in the chat. Yeah, I watched Fire Force. Fire Force was an anime that dropped. I want to say it started airing in the summer of 2019. Is when it dropped, June of 2019. Either way, I've watched it and I made it 8 episodes into Fire Force before I lost interest in it. Not saying that it's a bad anime, but I don't think it was for me in particular. It was I don't feel like the stakes are high enough in the world just yet. I feel like they might have like rushed some of the plot points to where it's like I understand what it is they're fighting for and I understand why things are happening. It's just I'm not invested into the storyline that much. It's not a bad story, it's just not holding my interest. But I do like Shinta. Shinta is a dude where he can emit fire from his feet, and it allows him to like create these explosions that allow him to like drop kick niggas from across the room and shit like that. So that shit to me is really dope. That shit's dope. The fights were dope too. Like I ain't even gonna front. Like it was like again, it's not a bad anime. Some of the fights were really dope. It was just to me at the time I was watching it simulcast, come out week over week over week over week. And on top of all of the other things that I mentioned, like I just didn't find myself running back to it every week to watch that. So now that season 1 has completed, I might jump back in and finish season 1, but I'm not going to commit to that. But Fire Force is definitely in my queue. And if you're looking for a good shonen anime, I wouldn't say pass that one up. You know, it's definitely, there's a lot of trash that comes out that I would definitely stay away from, but I don't think Fire Force is one of those. Fire Force was a solid release last year. It got a little bit of buzz, but it was going to be hard for Fire Force to gain the traction and capture the people's hearts because at the same time it was out, Demon Slayer was out. And Demon Slayer, that was a monster. That series is gonna be, it's already solid, it's already hard body. The story is really dope in Demon Slayer. I'm actually already caught up in the manga. Like, I was so inspired by the anime that I went and just read through in the manga. And that's Demon Slayer is one of the best manga adaptations I've seen. Ufotable, which is the animation studio that animates Demon Slayer and also animates the Fate Stay Night series, did a bang up job on that series. Like, you can say what you want to say about the Fate Stay Night series. Like, a lot of people are like, I'm confused by it. It looks stupid, whatever, whatever. But the fight scenes are some of the best fight scenes in anime, in any Fate series. You can watch any Fate series, and they're always top notch. So when you get a series like Demon Slayer, and you get a studio that really knows what they're doing with, like, animation behind it, like, now they have the story, plus they have the fights and the action. Like, what we're looking at is a historic anime in, like, real time. Like, we're going to look back on that shit like 20, 30 years from now. Like, this shit was, Demon Slayer was a classic. And I'm telling you, as long as they stick to the source material, like they did with season 1, and they adapt season 1, and they adapt the other seasons just like they adapted season 1, is gonna be the GOAT. No questions asked. What's poppin', y'all? Yeah, no, it definitely looks lit. It looks lit. But nah, that's pretty much me and anime. That's a good question. Oh yeah. Oh, you know it's like that. You know it's like that. You know Demon Slayer is like that. But music talk. So I am in the process of delivering you guys Dope Fridays, which is a new song the first Friday of every month. So I already dropped off one at the top of the year. I don't know if you guys caught it yet, but if you haven't, you need to go back and listen to Angels. It's on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, iTunes. If you're cool and like making videos and shit like that, it's also on TikTok. It's on TikTok, bro. I don't know why I said that like that. It's on TikTok, bro. It just feels like because TikTok is so new and it's so young that it feels like you got to put some swag on it when you say it. You know what I mean? TikTok, bro. But nah, make sure you guys go back and listen to Angels. So I dropped that off in January. So what that's saying is you guys are going to get 12 new tracks from me this year. He said, damn, that's that Russ hustle. A song a week. No, not a song a week. Not a song a week. Let me make that distinction. The last thing I want to do is set incorrect expectations for what it is that I'm doing. Russ doing a song a week was phenomenal. That was some dope shit, and it really got his career up and running. Me personally, I don't have the luxury of time to where I can afford to put together my best work in a week's time. However, I am able to do it on a monthly basis. What does that speak to? Well, it speaks to poor time management. It's something that I've always struggled with and continue to struggle with. But I can assure you that I'm taking steps to correct that this year. And part of me doing the Dope Fridays thing is to come up with a process to where I'm able to kick out music regularly. And, figure out, what is it that you're doing over the course of a month? Okay, cool. How can you condense that down to do it once every 2 weeks? Cool. How can you condense that down to do it once every week? So eventually I will get to one song a week, but at this point, the way that my schedule and my life is set up, that's not a commitment that I can make right at this moment. And you'll get some motivational speakers that, like, I could hear the motivational speaker in my head right now, like, you gotta get it. You're not hungry enough. You're not hungry enough. Where's your passion? What kind of man lets another man dictate his plans? I hear my inner Will Smith just like, in order to be successful, you have to make sacrifices. And it's through those sacrifices and it's through that adversity that a man can truly be able to grow. Listen, fam, I believe in all of that shit. And I'm not dissing motivational speakers, but hear this and hear this well. Part of your creative journey is assessing risks and assessing what your limitations are. Once you fully understand those, you have to take steps gradually to push past them and to correct those things. So I could jump on here and tell y'all I'm going to do a song a week. But fam, I'm not going to lie to you. I know me. I know my schedule. I know what my life looks like. We would get to week 3 and y'all would be looking at me like I am crazy. Y'all be like, look, man, this nigga dropped 1 track. We on week 3. This nigga owe us 3 more tracks. Like, what's popping, man? What's popping, man? Look at this nigga fumbling the bag. Look at that. You had 1 job and what'd you do? Try to secure the bag and what'd you do? Fumble that. So I'm just keeping it a Buckington with you. I'm keeping it 1,000. I'm keeping it 1,000. I'm going to drop 1 brand new track every month. And with that, I'm also trying to drop an in-studio performance of said song for my Dope 16 series. So I'm not only trying to give you guys the audio aspect of it, but I'm also trying to figure out a way to deliver the visual aspect of it more. And even this Instagram live joint is a part of that process. You know, I come on here moving forward, I'm going to come on here every Friday at 4 p.m. and just chop it up with y'all, see how y'all doing, talk about whatever y'all want to talk about, but also let you know where I'm at in my process. Vex said, understood, my man. Rob Level does the monthly too. Rob Level, smart rapper. Yeah, I'm familiar with Rob. Oh, he said, God damn that Will Smith. Listen, I love Will Smith to death, but Will Smith has the ability to, during his motivational speeches, he says, like, people are like, wow, Will Smith is just like this polarizing figure, and he really gets me pumped up and he really gets me motivated. And no disrespect, but Will Smith has a talent. He can say some of the most basic shit and make it sound compelling. And I'll give you an example. Like, the nigga will say some shit like, in order to live your best life, you have to make sure that when you're living life to the fullest extent of which one can live life to. You have to live. And through living, you can achieve greatness. And I'm like, yo, man, I'm like, bravo. Like, it's just the way that he delivers it, man. And it is a talent. It is a skill. And I'm not going to front. When he be talking, I'll be like, yeah, gotta. Today, gonna live my life to the fullest, to the max. But shout outs to Will Smith, Jaden, Willow, Jada, and everybody else in the Smith clan, the Smith dynasty. Somebody said they're the Black Kardashians. I don't agree with that, but it's whatever. It's whatever. Shout outs to everybody else entering the chat. Jesus Christ, entering the chat. How old am I? Shout outs to everyone entering the chat. See, the one thing that I try not to do is get on here and display my true age. But you know what? There are certain things certain mannerisms that are going to come out of a person that are going to be very telling of what era they grew up in. Shout outs to people entering the chat. What the fuck does that mean, man? Shout outs to people entering the live is what I should be saying. Shout outs to people entering the live. But of course, I grew up in the Internet 1.0 days, and we had those chat rooms on AOL and Yahoo Instant Messenger and shit like that. And it, so-and-so enters the chat. So I see your name and it says, hey, so-and-so joined the feed, joined your live. But I'm just like, join the chat. Whatever, man. What's poppin'? I should probably wave to some of y'all. That's what this function down here does. Hey, what's poppin'? Another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about today, now that I have you here, I got to do something really dope today. It was really awesome. It was really fun. And I don't get to do it often enough, but I need to figure out a way to do it more. Today, I spoke at a local high school about my journey as a hip-hop artist. And I spoke to a group of children, Jesus Christ. I spoke to a group of teenagers ranging from the grades of 9th grade to senior year. And they knew I was coming in, of course, and man, did these kids have questions for me, man. But it was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing because going into it, and I'll just talk a little bit about the preparation. Going into it, I knew that there were some things that I wanted to get across because I know that there's a certain perception and a certain perception that people have of hip-hop artists and rappers in general, and I wanted to let them know that, because they had some artists in the class, that it's important to work on your craft. It's important to be yourself. But above any and all things, it's important to be able to read and comprehend what it is that you're reading. And I know that that last one sounds a little weird, but stick with me because that's based off of personal experience. Like, in my adult life, I've come across people that struggle with reading. And as a result, it hinders the information that they're able to take in and able to process. So one of the messages that I got out to the kids was, there wasn't really an OG who took me up under their wing when I first started and said, this is how you do this. This is how you write a song. This is how you set up your business. This is how you mix. This is how you master. This is how you engineer. And when I first started, there was no YouTube. The internet existed, but there weren't a ton of resources on what it was that I was trying to do as a hip hop artist, like starting a home studio and stuff like that. A lot of the information out there wasn't practical. So in order for me to take my career a step further, I had to read books from the library. I had to search for stuff on the internet. And if I wasn't able to read and comprehend and process what it was that I was reading, I wouldn't have been able to make it this far. And again, I'm talking specifically about the early 2000s. So, and my purpose of telling that to the kids was the industry is changing all the time. And I'm not necessarily certain what everyone in here wants to do with their life creatively, all right? Creatively, like whatever your creative journey is, whether that be poetry, whether that be books, whatever. If you're trying to figure out the business aspect end of it, you need to know how to read and comprehend. So the skills that they're teaching you now, even though you don't care about Shakespeare, Hamlet, To Kill a Mockingbird, all of that good stuff, even though you don't care about all of that stuff, the skill of reading and comprehending is crucial to you being a functioning adult and super crucial to anything that you try and pursue in the real world. It's not just limited to art, entertainment, or whatever. Like, that's a skill that's going to take you so far. but it was really good. What were some of the questions that they asked me? Oh, this was a good one. This was a good one because they wanted to know how artists make money. And I asked them, I'm like, okay, what do you guys use to listen to your music with? You know, because they don't make CDs anymore. So I know you guys are using an app or something like that. They said SoundCloud, Spotify. Somebody said Apple Music. Somebody else said YouTube. I'm like, okay, cool. So I asked them, how much do you think a stream is worth? And I got a variety of responses. Somebody said, nah, I feel like one stream on Spotify would be worth $1. Somebody else said, nah, that's too low. It's going to be $2. Somebody else said, nah, a stream on Spotify? Nah, that's going to be at least worth $5 or $10. So I broke it down to them. I'm like, all right, I want to explain something to you. These are all really, really good guesses. And I'm going to put you guys up on some game as well. So listen to me when I say this. One stream on Spotify in 2020, one single play of one song from one person is worth 0.006 cents. That is a little over half of 1 penny. It's less than 1 penny. It's less than 1 penny. And you should have seen the light bulbs go off. They're like, how the heck can somebody survive off of that? You know what I mean? And really what I wanted to do with that was to put it into perspective that not saying that you can't make money from music, but there's other ways that you have to monetize your career as an artist. And I conveyed some of that to them, but it was really interesting to get in there and help calibrate some expectations and manage some expectations, because young kids are impressionable. And when they see something on TV and when they see these guys flashing this money and all of this good stuff, they need some worldview to give them contrast. You know what I mean? You can't just put one song out there, get 1 million plays, and you're going to have $1 million and you can move your mom out the hood and you're all good. That's not how it works. Again, just off of streaming alone, 1 million plays does not equal $1 million. But where you will see the money from is like if you're in film, music, TV, video games, and some of the money from radio and the royalties on the back end. So I wanted to make that very clear distinction with them. Somebody asked me how do they promote their music and what tips I could give on promoting their music. And I loved that question because I could tell that the kid has been writing music and he's been recording music and he's been trying to put it out. And he even said, I tried everything. I'm trying to get my followers up and all of that good stuff, and it's just not working. And I told, I gave some advice, but long end and short of it is he said he was upset with the fact that he only had maybe 20 followers on SoundClick with a little under 100 plays. And I said, dude, like right now, like that's a good start for you, considering that you're in high school and you're just starting out. 20 followers and 70 plays is better than 0 followers and 0 plays. See, one, and Gary Vaynerchuk said this, 1 is always greater than 0. So you have to operate from a mindset of, yes, I'm hungry. Yes, I want to get this done. But you also can't overlook the fact that you are making progress. No matter how big, no matter how small, you are making progress. Celebrate the progress. Continue to work on your craft, improve, and get better. And those numbers will increase over time. Focus on the content, not on the number. Because a lot of these vanity metrics don't mean shit. A lot of these and I didn't phrase it I didn't curse in the class. I promise you guys, I didn't do that. I'm a very respectful man, but I'm among you guys. We're having a conversation. But vanity metrics really, when there's a focus, when an artist focus on those creatively, when they focus on vanity metrics, I feel like it stifles creativity and productivity because the attention is placed on improving in the wrong areas. So what do I mean by that? Man, listen. Likes don't mean nothing if you can't sell your work. Followers don't mean nothing if you can't sell your work. Attention, yeah, that's one thing. But what I mean by this is if you have 2 million followers, but nobody wants to listen to your music, that's a problem, right? There's a story about an influencer, and I can't quite remember her name, but short story time. An influencer, she had 2 million followers on Instagram. On average, her pics got 30,000 likes a pop. She reached out to her followers and said, hey, I'm going to start a clothing line. In order for me to start this clothing line, I need to sell 30 shirts. Once I sell 30 shirts, this group is going to work with me and we're going to fully launch the product. But what we need to do to take that first step, we need to sell 30 shirts. How many shirts do you think this young woman sold? Let's do the math, right? 2 million followers. Average of 30,000 likes on Instagram per picture. The young lady only sold 7 shirts. No bullshit, no lie, no exaggeration. And that's what I mean when I say a vanity metric, it's follows and it's likes. Those don't necessarily equate to people taking action and making a purchase. And you have just break that shit down, because it's not like you don't have 2 million followers and expect all 2 million to make a purchase from you. That's just realistically, that's not how it works. So I would say if there's any creatives that are listening, I would say focus more on the content that you're putting out, whether that be beats, songs, art, poems, books, whatever. Focus on making the best content that you can make. Everything else will fall into place. Don't worry about the likes. Don't worry about the views. Don't worry about the followers, because that's only going to divert your attention away from you becoming a better artist. Is attention getting important? Yeah. There's other stuff that you can do to supplement that. Just look up a couple digital marketing tactics and you'll get an understanding on how you can get your art and stuff like that in front of a lot more people for dirt cheap. But the last thing you want to do is put together a piece solely on getting your follows up or getting your likes up. Me personally, I develop from the heart. I noticed when I was trying to operate that way earlier on in my career, I had a hard time putting together music that was genuine, and that's how it came across. Peace out, Vex. Take it easy, man. But I mean, at the end of the day, those numbers, follows, likes, all of that shit doesn't mean anything if you're not connecting to people and they don't feel compelled to take action and participate in what it is that you're doing or purchase what it is that you have to offer. I'm just kicking a little bit of game, but I mean, it was ultimately, today was a good day, man. Today was a good day. I got to have a real meaningful conversation with the youth in my city. They're in public schools. I went to public school, so it was really good to give back in that way and to pass down some of my knowledge and my experience just with them overall, and to encourage them not only to pursue their dreams, but to make sure that they're focused on the right things at this point in their life as well, because you can't just, and I was very clear when I was talking to them, you don't just want to you don't just want to drop out and get rid of all of these skills. Like one of the things that I passed on to him was about just having a regular job. You know what I mean? There's nothing dishonorable about having a job and making an honest living while pursuing your passion. Because here's the thing, if you're making good legal money, you don't have to look over your shoulder to see if the feds or somebody or the cops or whatever are going to come and get you, or if somebody's going to kick your door in. And then on top of that, you have a consistent, steady source of income coming in that will allow you to fund yourself to pursue your dream a lot more, because it's difficult to pursue a dream or pursue a goal, especially creatively, if you have very limited funds to do that. You have to find a way to be creative to stretch that out and make it work. But I was very clear in that, holding a job, there's nothing dishonorable in that. If you got to work at McDonald's while you work on your art career, well, you're going to work at McDonald's and work on your art career. But at the end of the day, it's a good, honest living, and you will make it much farther than someone who's not taking the right path. And the other thing that I talked to him about was just making good decisions and making smart decisions. And we talked a little bit about Tekashi 6ix9ine as well, because they're younger, so they're very familiar with his music, and they're very familiar with what happened and what went on with the case. And I use that more or less as like a teachable moment. Like, here you had this guy. It was more or less about, I tied it back into chasing clout and how chasing clout doesn't necessarily equate to long-term success. And we just tied it back into, this dude was chasing clout. He was provoking all of these gang members. He was going to these cities. He was talking very badly and provoking very, very dangerous people to raise his buzz and to raise his awareness and to remain relevant. And then you look at how all of that ended and some of the decisions that he made with who he decided to roll with. And he made some really poor decisions. And now it's like, dang, look at what he has to show for it. You know what I mean? His freedom has been taken away from him. And that not only affects you, but that affects your loved ones as well, people that care about you. When you do that time, they do that time with you if they truly love you. So just reinforce that, just making smart decisions. It was a really good meeting, man. It was a really good meeting, and I enjoyed just again giving back to the youth in the city that way and having that conversation. I hope they have me back. But I think that's one of the benefits in what it is that I do. You get to meet people and have a positive impact on that person's life. You know what I mean? I wish that when I was younger that somebody would have come in and kind of like had this talk with me when I first started rapping. I first started rapping when I was 15 years old, and I just had a really warped perspective on what was going to happen. I was like, I'm going to fill up these rhyme books, and then Puff Daddy and Baby from Cash Money Millionaires, they're going to recognize who I am, and they're going to be like, that kid has moxie. Come on down to Bad Boy Records. We've got a record deal for you. Here's $1 million and a big old bag of cash. Like, that's what I thought, like, the industry was at 15, and then as time went on and things progressed, I learned that that's not what it's about at all. So it was really good to give back in that way. Not necessarily saying, well, more or less just making sure that they have a realistic view of what the world looks like. You know what I mean? Because, I think you and I can both agree that if a 15-year-old kid is putting together songs and they think that every time somebody plays their song, they're going to get $10, that's something that we need to correct. We need to, if that's what they're thinking and they're very young and they're very impressionable, somebody needs to set the appropriate expectations with them. You know what I mean? And I was really happy to get in there and do that. And also, again, tell them to focus on getting their education, focus on learning how to read and comprehend. Some of the stuff you may go over in class might be really boring, and you might not ever use it again in life, but you still need to sharpen and hone that skill of being able to read and comprehend. People don't talk about literacy enough in our community and in public school. Well, I mean, I don't want to say in public schools, but like, fam, like, again, coming across young adults that I've met some young adults who really have a difficult time reading, and it's one of those things where when you witness it, you could, and you witness how it works and how someone else's brain is working. It's like, man, some of the skills that we take for granted. You know what I mean? And that was one of the things that I didn't want them to pass up. It's like, don't goof off. Apply yourself. Learn this stuff. You need to be able to read and comprehend, because if you get out here in the world, you're going to suffer, because if you can't do that, you're going to suffer because you're not going to understand certain documents and things like that are going to be placed in front of you as a young adult. You need to be able to understand what it is that you're reading, so people don't try and finesse you, scam you, things like that. And so you can just understand what's going on in your life and your personal day to day. So I'm rambling though. I just went off on a tangent. Somebody asked me, where am I based out of? Let me just get back to these questions. Where am I based out of? I am based out of Youngstown, Ohio. That's a city in the Midwest. It's located halfway between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. So it's the exact same distance for me to go to either city driving. It's going to be an hour and a half both ways. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm based out of. Born and raised here. Spent my whole life here. But I realize that the world is much bigger than this city that I'm in, and I've been blessed and had the opportunity to perform in other locations as well. I've performed in New York, Jackson, Mississippi, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, of course, Columbus, Toledo. That's all I can think of right now. But yeah. Long story made less long. Youngstown, Ohio. All of that good stuff. Somebody said, hey, what's up? What's poppin', Cy? Cy, thank you. Cy gave me some really good advice on speaking to people. Not just people, but like motivational speaking and speaking to children in general. For those of you who don't know, Cyrus Assar, he's like, he is a brother to me, flat out. Like, me and this cat, we go way back. And when I got the gig to speak to the children, I reached out to Cy and asked him the best approach to take when addressing the youth, because that's something that he does on a regular basis. My man's put together, like, not only is he speaking to the youth, but he's put together workbooks. I believe he has an endorsement through Kevin Hart's organization for like literacy among children and stuff like that. So just to see how he's ranged and changed and evolved, not only as a motivational speaker, but as an artist and an entrepreneur, is nothing short of phenomenal. So again, Cy, thanks for the advice. Shout out to you. It was a tremendous success today. I'm going to post this live to my Instagram, so in case you missed it, you'll be able to run it back. But let's see. Someone said, I'm familiar with Youngstown. Got a buddy from Ashland. Okay. Shout outs to Ashland. Shout outs to your buddy. Tell him I said what's up, what's popping, all of that good stuff. I have never been to Ashland. I cannot tell you where Ashland is, but I know it's somewhere up here in the general vicinity of Northeast Ohio. So I don't know what they call themselves. Shout out to the Ash. Shout outs to A-Land. It's hard to make that one sound cool, not knowing what it is that they call it. But shout outs to you and your homie. Thank you, thank you. But yeah. So just to wrap things up, just wanted to touch base with you guys here. I appreciate you guys joining me again. Dope Fridays. That's going to be a new song the first Friday of every month. The first Friday of every month. It's not every week. It's going to be the first Friday of every month. I spoke to the city's youth today as well. That went really well. And we also talked a little bit about anime on the live feed here. As you guys can see, I'm rocking my Uchiha Clan hoodie. Huge anime fan, if you guys didn't know that about me. But now I appreciate you guys tuning in, checking in with your boy. If you have not, click the link in my bio. Go listen to Angels. It's available across all digital platforms: iTunes, Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify. I would assume it's on Napster if you use Napster to listen to stuff in the year of 2020. It's on Deezer if you're outside of the country. It's on TikTok, bro. Almost forgot. It's on TikTok, bro. But yeah, that's about it, man. I'm about to get back to work here in the studio, finish laying down this track for the month of February that I'm going to release and try and come up with some other stuff. But again, I greatly appreciate you guys. Let me take a look. Somebody asked Goku versus Superman real quick. Cyrus asked me Goku versus Superman. Dog, there's no Cyrus, you can't ask Goku versus Superman and then say real quick. That's not a real quick scenario, man. But I will say this, to try and keep it quick. There are 2 deathmatch videos on YouTube. And a deathmatch is where this YouTube channel pits 2 fictional characters not in the same franchise against each other. And they have 2 Goku versus Superman fights. I would recommend, if you want to know the answer to the Goku versus Superman debate, look up the deathmatch or the death battle on YouTube. Just punch in Goku versus Superman death battle. Watch the first one, then watch the second one. They are even kind enough to break down how they would win, like what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. They even animate the fight for you as well. It's a good time. It's a good time. So check that out. But Goku versus Superman, my guidance would be to watch the video, and I will let you know that I don't fully agree with the outcome of the video, but I understand. So there's your answer. All right. Thank you. Yeah, love the jewels you were dropping. I appreciate you saying that, man. But all right, I'm going to wrap this thing up. Every Friday, I'm going to be back here at 4 p.m. right in your face. More lives for your head top. More lives for your head top, man. Make sure when you're done, you click the link in the bio. Show your boy some love. Post that song to your story and then tag me in it, all right? So I know it's real. All right, y'all.